Hello, welcome. Uh-huh. Thank you for being here. Thank you for clicking on this video. Please like, please subscribe, all of the good things. And I am in a very good mood today because I feel like last month I had, I want to say like a spiritual awakening, but like about books, like a booktual awakening, if you will. And even though I've been reading books my whole life and I love them and I always think they're important and I have an English degree and yada yada yada, I feel like for the first time I am consistently reading in the way one should read. And I can't believe I feel like it's taken me why is it taking me so long? Like what am I doing? Okay, what am I doing? What have I been doing? And it was partway through the month when I like made that video about reading slowly and how, like, what's the point of reading if you don't remember? And I've been really intentional about doing that because I'm in a place in my life where I need to talk about books, not only here, but in other spheres. And I'm realizing that the way I was reading before was almost useless. Like, I couldn't have an intelligent conversation about a book most of the time. I probably paid a bit more attention when I was at school because you had to write papers and actually say stuff in class. But the things I've been learning about story and how, I guess like all the different things that books mean, and that partnered with this really like close, slow reading. I just noticed such a change with the books that I read at the end of March compared to the books I read at the beginning. And I'm really excited to make this video and talk about that change and show you the books that I read. It was, I feel like a slow reading month, not in that I wanted to read faster, but that I think often I chose to do other things instead of reading. And I wish I had chose reading a little bit more. But honestly, this whole shindig takes up a lot of mental energy. And it's hard to like shut it off sometimes and just read. So also working on that. But here are the books I've read in March. Oh, also, I keep forgetting to say this in every video, but I think I've got to remember. If you want to buy these books and you live in the States or you live in the UK, I have a link in the description. The link, it's bookshop.org. They help support local independent bookstores. I guess not local for everyone, independent bookstores. But yeah, you can shop link below. I'll have a list of all the books that I mentioned in this video. By all means, if you have a local bookstore that you like to go to, a used bookstore, go there. But if you're going to order online, if you're going to order from, just order here instead. Order from here instead. That'd be great. Okay, now let me get to the videos. Let me show them to you. Not the videos, the books. Please like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. Okay. Books. First one. This one. The Death of Ivan Ilyich and Other Stories by Leo Tolstoy. It may look familiar because it was in my last one, but I had only read The Death of Ivan Ilyich last month or in February, because it was for a book club, and so I just included it because it was a fairly significant part of my reading that month. But I wanted to finish the collection, which I did. This was one of the first things I read in March. So it was pre my revelation. And I found myself getting a little bored with some of the stories. They were a lot about war, which just doesn't particularly tickle my fancy. There was The Death of Ivan Ilyich by far was the best one in the collection, I think. The Forged Coupon, the last one, also good. They were probably all good, is the truth. But I think I was getting a little impatient. I think short stories, you really need to pay attention and look at the details. And I wasn't giving it the respect it deserved. But I am glad that I read Tolstoy. It's really the first Tolstoy I've read, I think. Yes. And as I've mentioned, this is my Russian literature year. And so I'm glad I started getting into that a little bit. Death of Ivan Ilyich was really good. I'd recommend. It's about like the sick room, which I guess I talked about this in my last one, but it's about someone dying in that process and what that space is like. It was by far the most memorable one. But the other ones were good too. For a lot of death, a lot of sadness is what I would say. So if you're not ready for that, maybe not the collection for you. But they were well written and they were powerful. So this is the first one. Okay. Next one I'm going to talk about is this bad boy. So we have the complete first edition, the original folk and fairy tales of the Brothers Grimm, translated by Jack Zipes. This I've been reading for, I guess, since January, actually. I've been reading, like, usually a couple a day or so. And it's just, all the Grimm Fairytales. And I didn't know this until I read, I guess, the intro of this book. But apparently the Grimm brothers, like, copiously edited and altered their collections over the years, over their lifetime. And published, like, tons of different versions, I think. And this is the first one that they made. So usually, I guess it's probably later ones that are more popular, but this guy, Jack Zipes, wanted to, I guess, kind of see where their collection of books started. Or their collection of all these oral tales started. And I've read a few other ones in isolation, but I haven't read a collection of any other ones. So it was I'm glad that I started at the beginning. In the future, it might be cool to, like, read maybe, like, their last collection, like the last edited version they made, to, like, see how they differ. But it was really enjoyable reading a couple stories. I found I couldn't read more than a couple at a time because they're short and they're kind of random and have, like, a lot of details that don't make sense in our world, but make sense in, like, the fairy tale world. So it was hard to, like, jump into new worlds over and over and over again. So I just would read, like, one or two at a time, which was good. I mean, I can't imagine they would tell, like, 40 in a row. So yeah, I really enjoyed these. It was cool to see stories, like, read stories that I knew and that I was familiar with already, and, like, learn how they actually go, and not, like, the Disney version or whatever movie version I've seen. So that was cool. And it was kind of cool to see how elements of these stories are all over. Sorry, I was interrupted. My husband came home, but we shoved him into the bedroom so we can continue. Where was I? Yes, the Brothers Grimm. Okay, it was cool to see the elements of story that are in here that you see everywhere else in all the other stories. So I really like that. I had this moment. This hasn't really happened to me, I don't think ever, but, like, until this one time. But I was, like, tucking this little girl into bed, and she asked me to tell her a story. I was like, a little kid has never asked me to tell him a story before. And at first I panicked. I was like, I can't just tell a story. I was like, what? And then I thought, wait, no, I was reading these and I couldn't remember the entirety of one, like a specific one. But because these are, like, a lot of them are similar and there's a lot of repeated patterns and repeated parts, I kind of, like, mixed together my own fairy tale and told it to her. And she was very interested in the story the whole time. So I like that. I think we should tell more stories to each other. So this is a helpful tool because This is the type of story that you can just tell out loud in a few minutes. Anyway, if you have not read any Grimm's Fairy Tales, you don't have to read the whole collection, but you should read a couple. But this edition's pretty nice too. All gold and white. So that was really good. It was really nice to finally finish this book after a couple months. They're so good. Alrighty. Now, I'd say the next book is kind of the main event of the month. This is the main event. The Wager. The Wager by David Grimm. Okay, I really enjoyed this book. I read this with my book club this month. And it is about a ship from the British Navy that set sail in 1740. So this is like before Britain has conquered the whole world, but they're like just about to. And it's a story of like one of the ships that would go out. This ship was trying to take over a Spanish ship that had lots of goods on it, and they were trying to go steal all their money. Well, not this ship, but a fleet of ships that the ship was a part of. And it's like a history book. It's not a novel, but it reads kind of like a novel. But this guy, David Grimm, has done all the hard work for us. He's collected all the sources, read all the boring ship logs and tedious recollections, and he has put them into this very readable, very enjoyable story. The things that happen to these guys, absolutely wild. I haven't read much about ships. I read Moby Dick, which was crazy. The main thing of this, I don't know the theme, but one of the ideas that I thought about was the ability of the human body to survive in extreme scenarios. And the way like your body and mind change and adjust so that you can survive, and the things you will do to survive or to find food when you're hungry, that just seem totally unfathomable when you're sitting comfortably in your living room. David Grimm did such a good job of presenting kind of a lot of different narratives in a way that was coherent, but still tells the story of all these delusional men who come back and are trying to tell their story, and they're all telling different stories. And he does a good job of laying out all the different things and the different perspectives, even when they're contradictory. I would love to read more David Grimm in the future if I come across his books. It says author of Killers of the Flower Moon, I think is his other main one. And someone on one of my videos commented they had read that and really liked that. So maybe if I come across a copy of that, I might look into it. But yeah, this is really good. A good story. A really fun way to read history. Delightful. We have one more book that I'm just going to talk about, and then we're going to move on, because it is Storm of Swords by George R.R. Martin. Okay? I finished this. This is the third one, and I have made a decision. I thought I was going to finish the series because I just love finishing things. But I've decided, as part of my revelation, that it's not worth it. I don't think these are good. I don't want to spend time reading them. It's a lot of pages and time for something that isn't feeding me, isn't giving me any sustenance, it's enjoyable kind of on a surface level, but you don't leave feeling like, like you had a good meal. And that's just not worth my time anymore. I would say when I started reading these, the idea of not finishing the series, felt very unsettling to me. But last month, that feeling inside me literally changed and switched. And I thought, no, I feel much better not finishing these, because I know that 3 more of these is not going to offer me anything that I want. So this, like I said about the last 2 books, is his detail impressive? Yes. Do you kind of want to know what happens? Yeah, you kind of do. But it just feels to be like lacking that. And I find he takes a story and he'll build a nice arc, and then he'll just like cut the arc. Like he won't give you any resolution. What are you doing? You're just making me angry. You're just making me so angry. Stop that. So I've had enough of these. I'm gonna not read the rest. I'm gonna get rid of the set. And that feels really good to me right now. So we're not even going to give her any more airtime. That's it. That's all she gets. That's it. That's it. So minus Storm of Swords, which we're going to pretend I didn't read. I had a lovely little 3-book session. Oh, I put this one here, and I didn't put any of the others there. Sorry for ruining the vibe. We're not even going to put Storm of Swords there because we don't want to look at her. Yeah, that was it. I am already excited about April. I'm always excited to read new books, so I could say that every time. I just feel so good about reading right now, and I'm very excited to do it all the time. Thank you for watching this. Please subscribe if you want these books. I'll have the list of them, except for not Storm of Swords. I won't have that. I will not have that one. But the rest I'll have linked in my storefront in at bookshop.org. You can go buy them there if you would like, if you're in the States or in the UK. But please leave a comment. Let me know if you've read these, if you like them, or if you're interested in reading any of them. Or if maybe you have something redemptive to say about Storm of Swords. My ears are open. My ears are open, but you'll have to do some good convincing to change my mind. All right. I hope you have a good day. I hope you find time to read. And I'll see you soon. Bye.